Noah No, lastbak voor een reten. Dit wouden jullie toch?
TBS, allemaal jongens even feesten. Noah No op je feest.
What a
Start
badass.
up.
Jimmer,
Hey, babe.
From a scale of I'm gonna liquidate my wife's 401k to I'm gonna sell my entire gallery, where you at?
I'm thinking that the reason why I haven't been here is I might liquidate my new child's college fund, which it doesn't exist yet, but maybe it just won't exist,
Have you ever heard of like giving your firstborn away for something?
Yeah, maybe.
I think
Maybe
that
we
applies here.
Sacrifice it for a handful of uniques.
Well,
Oh, we don't have sacrifice.
Sacrifice is probably sell it. Just sell the baby.
Let me take the baby.
Yeah. So
no,
how's dad life? How's dad life first?
Oh, it slaps, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
It's great.
What about-
There
what
might be a factor there that I'm just not working right now too. It's it's a lot of work, but it's a lot more entertaining and gratifying work than working for the man. So
You're working for the
HG.
little girl. Yeah.
Yeah. Working for HG.
Working for HG. All right.
Yeah.
What's your take on diapers? Do you like those cloth diapers or like the
Yeah, I might have to
reusable,
switch to
recyclable ones?
I might switch to cloth diapers so I can start pumping into some limiteds. Yeah. I actually we maybe we should invent some diapers where it's like, whoa, the wetness indicator is just like reveals like a loot box limited card. Like
What are you talking about?
when your baby pees in the diaper, you open up the diaper, it's like, oh, it's Carl's Gill. And it's, or it shows up from the outside, so it's a wetness indicator, right? So
So if you can see
One
from the
thing-
outside, that's like not a surprise box, loot box at all. You already
right.
know.
Well, no, but you take the clothes off and then you see the diaper and the wetness indicator, which is Carl's Gill Limited. And then maybe like if it's a number 2, it's a 2021
It's one of them brown uniques.
Yeah. Yeah, you get a little brown unique indicator.
Man,
Stinky.
that's wonderful. You've changed so much, by the way, since like we've last talked. You've got that like pristine, perfect mustache. Like you're a police officer now or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I became a doomsdayer as well.
Oh, that's right. You did mention
Yeah.
that the other day. So you're prepping now. You're prepping for the end of the world.
Yeah, spicy preppers, dude.
Yeah.
Spicy preppers. No, not really. I just thought it would I saw well, okay, so what really happened was like night 2 where we had our daughter, the power went out. I was like, what the fuck do we do? Like
Okay.
it's 20 degrees outside. And then that made me kind of, be like, oh, well, if the power grid goes out, what do we do?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to extrapolate that out to like
Yeah, you have to
the
keep
worst
going.
possible scenario.
And then
So-
I'll tell you one thing, I actually got my emergency rations today in the mail, which was hilarious. But it was like fucking 150 pounds. And I was like, Jesus. It was 3 months worth, and I was like, oh, dude, I'm glad I didn't get a year because I'd rather die than
3
move
months
all
of
that
food,
weight.
3 months of food for the whole family or just for you?
Oh, just for me, babe.
So like a month for the whole family. The kid's not going to eat that much yet.
Yeah. I was also thinking about like primarily raising my daughter on emergency rations. And
Okay.
it's like, oh, and then she gets into school and she's like, oh, the cafeteria food is delicious.
Those square pizzas just slap.
Those square pizzas are slapping. All I've eaten my whole life is dehydrated mashed potatoes.
Oh God. Oh, well, enough about you, James. What do you think about this the update that literally everybody on the planet is talking about?
Yeah, I think I'm not liquidating anything, but I'm excited. I think it's good. I love it.
You think
I
it's
think it
good
was.
and you love it.
I think it was a necessary risk for Sorare to take, and I thought some of the things they said were genuine in terms of like scalability. People were calling for that as well. It's like it just seems like a healthier way to go. It's like I was listening to Sean and Laird earlier, and Sean was like, "Oh, these are the people that get fucked," and it's like, "Oh, basically everyone who plays like Rare Pro or Rare Plus, Threshold Grinders, and U23." I was like, "Oh,
And people with Mexican cards and people with Argentinian cards and people like it was funny, kind of like
like
not really
everybody
funny.
got fucked." It's like
Right.
nobody is like in a great position here, and that's what kind of makes it. It's like everybody's got work to do, and they should consider that. I mean, people can be mad or people can take action. If you love the game, go fucking fight for it, you know?
Yeah, that was one of the funny things that I like noticed on Twitter today was just like everybody, the posts were mostly angled around how here's how I got fucked. Everyone listen, here is
Yeah.
how I specifically
Yeah.
how I
Do you
took
want
it
to
in
know
the
which
ass.
hole is now ripped 3 inches larger?
Right.
Because
Right.
I'll tell you, and you're gonna listen.
Yep. And it's funny because like when I look at like your gallery, my gallery, with how wide and gaping it is.
Yeah, I'm already stretched, dude.
Oh man, there is a lot of room for fucking there, and
Yeah.
yeah, like on a more serious note, like I dabble in the uniques, I dabble in the 240 uniques, so I got some pretty crappy uniques. I've got Mexican cards, I've got Argentinian cards. Like I got fucked in lots of different ways, and it's fine because we're all getting fucked. We're all getting
Yeah,
fucked
dude,
here.
it's like a
And
big old orgy. It's the February 7th orgy.
That's right. That's right.
There was the Gary V boom, and then there was the February 7th orgy.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, when you kind of all get fucked equally, it's like you're on level playing field. So it's
Yeah,
like to
it's
me
like AIDS. If everyone has it, it's like nobody has it.
exactly that great analogy. I love that. But like the first thing that I thought of was like not like they screwed me. It's like, all right, what do I need to do? Like, what do I got to do to fix these issues? Because like my Liga MX stuff is no longer connected to my MLS stuff, and I had those coordinated for America stuff. So now I got to do other things. I need to move lots of things around. I need Andrew Laird to update Sorare data and get the filters in there for the new divisions so that I know I can look easily and see what I need to get rid of and what I need to add.
Yeah, maybe now's your opportunity to get in there and do it before everyone else, though, without the tools.
Dude, I can't.
Or you could wait until 2025 when Liga MX pops up into Challenger.
Yeah, definitely wait for that because that'll definitely happen.
Hey, I mean, if they got a full license of Liga MX, I could see it happening.
I need to catch up on chat. Sir down under, he said he's looking forward to getting fucked, which is,
everyone does, my man.
Scosmo said he feels good to be so rich. J Vic, F them kids.
I think he was talking about the babies, the baby conversation.
Of course.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Krusty Krab is, but that sounds like a bar that you guys probably went to in Orlando. No?
Have you ever seen SpongeBob SquarePants?
I haven't.
I'm guessing maybe because my mustache. I don't know.
Oh, Taco got fucked.
All right, so okay. So what everybody's so drastic about like, oh, if you're in contender, you're absolutely fucked. Why? Why do you think that is?
I don't think it is. It's
you just said it.
No. That's not why. It's the thing that fucks me is like I had correlations between my MX guys and my MLS guys. So like I was planning on
play them together.
Right. Like my Robin Jansen unique, I only have 2 MLS uniques and I always played them with my MX uniques. So like what am I going to do with those 2 cards? Play them in super rare, or I'll probably find a way to either trade them to someone or I'll do something with them.
Yeah. I can buy the correlation. So
I no more midweek. We don't really 100% know that. Like we won't be able to exploit the midweeks, but there may be like special weeklies or something that we can do in the midweeks to get by.
I've heard that a couple times. What's the theory there? Is that there's not going to be 10 licensed teams? Okay,
Exactly. Yeah.
that makes sense. Okay, I thought that there was like some statement that they're not. There's just no tournaments going on midweek anymore. It's like garbage.
But like right when MX starts, you have that 2-week period where nothing else is running. There's only like 3 Liga MX teams licensed, or 4 or 5, something like that. It's a very low number. So to get to that 10 for Contender could be tough on the midweeks.
Yeah, they have a huge opportunity right now. Like it's very vague and open. They have a huge opportunity right now to do the special weeklies right, which is like do some fun stuff, do more than one, make sure you're consistent, like put a small team on it and say like, hey, it is your job to make fun things happen every week.
Do you think
or every game week? Do I think they do that? Do I personally think they'll do that?
Mhm.
Unfortunately, no, I don't. But it's a big opportunity because do you remember the special weeklies used to be pretty fun? They used to be pretty good. Like they had ones where it was like put 5 guys together of the same nation, right? Like that's a good one. Like you look in your gallery and you're like, oh shit, I could put together a pretty fun lineup.
Yeah.
And they had what I don't know, what were some of the other ones? I guess
They did stuff with age. Like they did a super young
like
Wonder
over
Boy
30.
one. Yeah, but
Yeah,
they also did like
a
an under
21.
18. I thought it was like 18.
Well, U23 used to be U21
right
back
right.
in the day, and then that was like one of their first iterative changes. It's like nobody could like everyone in the U21 division was like,
There's like one goalie.
One guy subbed in and scored in the JPL. It was like, we got to bump this up to U23, buddies.
And there was only like Jonathan David was the only player that he definitely fit into it, and then everybody else was just like, good luck, throw 4 other guys in there, and maybe a sub will do something.
Yeah, true.
There was that one.
DMP.
Maybe
goalies.
it wasn't DM. No. I'm thinking of the one where you could win goalies.
Yeah, where you could win goalies. I loved Alistair's suggestion of the 5 goalies. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
It's hard to get 1 goalie, get 5, bitch.
Oh, and you can win more goalies.
No,
it's like that legend shit that you won with.
Oh, my peaches. I thought my game week last weekend was dead. I thought it was dead in the water. I never consider the legends because ever since they took away the rare legends and they said, okay, you can use super rare.
Oh, they fucked your legends, didn't they?
Yeah, but I mean, I was like, I still played on. I was like, I don't know. I still like legends. Legends to me are fun because like you don't have to worry about DMPs. You have to worry about 1 DMP really. And then the rest of it's like, oh, buy a legend on your team. I was just pissed they never came out with Stevie G. I want a Liverpool legend so bad. I'll buy one, but yeah. So anyway, big opportunity to get special weeklies right. Do we think they're gonna do it? Do I think they're gonna do it? I think they're gonna probably miss a little bit, but I think they'll be better than they have been.
Well, I think we'll see legend special weeklies, right?
Yeah, I just hope they do like a couple different ones because they talked about. I think they talked a couple times in those blogs of like league specific special weeklies, and those are just kind of lame. I don't know.
Would you like a special weekly that was like, all right, we're only counting AA, so it's like the AA special.
I want anything that's just obscure.
Yeah,
like do
decisives
that. It's like decisive only would just be kind of hard because of how limited. Like there's only 5 players, so it'd be kind of difficult on the scoring.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you got 5 decisives. You're gonna tie the other guy with 5 decisives.
Yeah, that's fair.
Probably not really. But yes, anything, literally anything, to where people go in their galleries and they look at like what they have, and they're like, oh, if I buy this one guy, I can put together this pretty good lineup in this obscure mode.
This is one of the reasons that the MX MLS split up like annoyed me because like we had this Leagues Cup thing going on this summer, and now the 2 things are going to be playing in complete. Granted, they'll probably have a Leagues Cup special weekly, but you know. Hey, speaking of Leagues Cup, I don't know how I'm going to make this transition, but I've got a special guest for you, Jimmer. That
pee diapers.
He said that he had some things that he wanted to share.
Oh my God!
He couldn't normally share. So
I'm in. I'm here for it.
I'm gonna bring him on. There he is.
Wow! Oh, after 8 p.m. he puts his glasses on.
Surface said he didn't believe me that I wore glasses, and so I felt like I had to wear them.
Oh,
How
are
you
they
doing there?
actually?
How you
are
doing
they
there, Four Eyes?
Are they actually? Oh wow, that's
Mhm.
fucking mean, dude. Are they actually corrective or are they just stylish?
Both.
Sick.
No, they are.
Oh,
they
can
are
I tell?
corrective.
I tell you a quick story, real quick, that makes me feel like a fucking idiot, but I love it. So, one of the jokes with eyeglasses is like transition lenses. It's like you're a fucking loser if you get them. But I was like, these are fucking cool, so I got them. No, like kind of ironically. And then my prescription changed, so I sent it in, and they only fixed the lens that was prescription, but they didn't put transition on it. So I had these glasses for like 2 years where I'd walk around outside like a pirate, and one of them would be transition and one of them wouldn't. But I couldn't tell. But I'd look at somebody, and that was a bad story. But it's fucking it was so funny.
I've never worn the transition ones.
Oh, they're
Like for
highly recommend. Anybody who tells you any differently is not looking out for your own.
I've been told that,
Yeah.
but no, I don't want to look like that.
Have you guys? I already know Laird's answered this, but have you guys set your rivals lineups for the Tigers game?
Oh no.
I know you're not
What the
playing.
fuck is that supposed to mean? When's the game? I'll play. I've got 65 tickets to use.
Mm-hmm.
The lineups aren't out there on Server yet though.
Okay. Well, we'll wait a
But I'm
couple
not
minutes.
doing it. Yeah. Let me know when I can go in.
Probably within like 15 minutes.
Have
or
you
so.
guys used the little notification thing yet?
What notification thing?
You can click the little bell on the matchup and it'll alert you whenever the lineups come out.
Oh, I actually see it right now. It says download the app. Okay.
Yeah,
Pretty
download
good.
the app.
Nice.
Don't show this message again. Noted.
Never miss a beat.
Yeah. Laird, before you hopped on, we were talking about how one of the big common themes was everyone sharing about all of the ways they've been fucked. So now that you're on, do you want to share all the ways that you've been fucked?
I haven't been. It was perfect for me.
Oh, it was perfect.
Oh,
Yeah, I think it was. But I'm glad.
abstinence.
I'm bummed that I missed that because that's what I was going to talk about how
Hmm.
everybody feels like they got fucked. And I was thinking this like an hour, like when I told you I had something to talk about, I was like, wait a minute. I think that fundamentally what it comes down to is that people who are like, this is terrible, I'm selling out, are just weak and like, so all of a sudden they were just like, the game got like slightly
Yes.
harder and they were like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's too hard. And they're just like,
Yeah,
leave.
I'm.
And it's like,
I
good,
don't
get
want a
out.
challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like, this is too hard. So I'm just leaving.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. And none of us are like, no, please don't go. Like we should, because like they were the ones who were like really bad. And like, so that's more like people spending money and everything. But we were just like, okay, well, see ya. Sorry, you don't
Yeah.
want something to be like a little harder.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what
I think
was
that's
telling-
I think that's a fun insult for those people, like that they're just bad at the game because it might make them want to come back.
But just like to be so reactive to sell today and take like no time to be like, I wonder if like maybe I could be good at this. Instead, they were just like, too hard for me.
Yeah.
I'm out.
The one guy
my
fans
my,
were not
my
to like
coasting strategy is not working anymore. What?
not to speak specifically to people, but I think the one guy didn't read the whole announcement because he was arguing with someone on Twitter
That
about
was so funny.
about things that were like incorrect. And it's like, dude, you just sold your gallery for 10 ETH or something to Pile Trader, maybe less, I don't know. But it's like that's a lot of money and it's a big financial decision when you sounds like you didn't read the whole thing.
the tweets were just like, somebody was like, he was like, I'm leaving because of this. And they were like, well, it's not that. And he was just like, what? And you're just like, oh, uh-oh.
Yeah, it was like because old season cards are worthless, and it's like, well, you can actually win.
Can't play them anywhere.
Yeah, you can actually win the new season ones. With
Yeah.
them. But it was like, no, they're going to be worthless though. But no, you actually you win the new season ones that are actually valuable that people want. Like, I don't know.
I'm with you, Laird, on the whole like everybody's cards and what you could play exists now, and then new season cards are just getting more, which is necessary for the health of the ecosystem.
Do you think that something that is the same as it was yesterday is worse because something else got better?
No.
Repeat that question, Laird.
So like Sean kept saying that like all of the old cards, like it got worse today, even though they're exactly the same as yesterday, but because they're not in like the cash contests. And so like some things are not as good. And because they're not better, they're actually worse.
I don't even.
I
don't know.
didn't explain
You
that.
broke
No,
my brain.
I'm with you. No, I'm with you totally, Laird. It's just because it's relatively worse. It's like if
Right.
you have a new season cards, there's six contests that you could, well, not six, but 2 different contests. You could enter classic or end season, but all the classic cards are basically the same utility as they were yesterday. And I would argue even like to some extent better, because if you look at some of those screenshots, you can win a lot of shit with those loot boxes and the top of the podium in those divisions.
You can also use some old season cards in the cash competitions anyway.
And you can win cash for podium,
Yep.
which is the same as today, which again, like the podiums might increase as well. They might decrease, who knows? But yeah. That was my whole argument with Sean on like U23 and stuff. I was like, I'm not pissed. I can do the same exact thing that I was doing today. They're incentivizing new season cards. It makes total sense for the ecosystem. I'm just gonna grind and try to win new cards.
Can you guys explain?
Just like
U23
everything
to
else
me?
in life. Yeah, 1 second. Just like everything else in life, you can pay money to shortcut, and you can buy in season cards to play those tournaments, or you can just play and win the cards. Explain U23. So U23 is just becoming classic only. You can only play any cards. You just can't win cash. You can only win new cards.
Ah, okay.
Except for podiums.
Okay.
Yeah, podiums you win cash.
So it literally is the same competition as before.
Yes,
Gotcha.
but they're
Okay,
getting
cool.
fucked and knocked. And
there's
losing
no
all
new
their
season
utility.
card requirement on the U23 lineups. It's just pure.
No,
Because
it's classic.
you can't win cash. There's no cash contest for U23.
Gotcha. Okay.
But there was yesterday.
Right.
There wasn't.
So like it's exactly the same to me. Like it's exactly the same as it was yesterday. And Sean is like, well, U23 is fucked. And it's like, it's the same. It just didn't get boosted like everything else.
I mean, I personally would love to see an in-season U23, but it would like U23 cards would be way too powerful because you could play them literally anywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah.
And that's where they're strong today. Is like if you're using a tier 2 or above U23 player, they're going to compete in any of those contests with 30-year-olds. Likely. I mean, I guess there's tier 2s and stuff that are speculative, like super highly, like a Turkey or whatever. But
do you think that not super rares, U23 cards should carry or will carry some kind of premium to them, since they're like the only cards now that you can basically play in a global type of competition?
I think they'll carry the same premium they've always had, which is they have the longest life of a career, and
Yeah, but they're like a Uno wild card now, right?
But they're highly speculative. They're highly speculative players, just in general, right? Like that's why you're playing those. But I mean, they have the same utility kind of that they have before, which is you can play them in U23 now, or cap modes, or challenger, or whatever.
I think you can, Daniel. Yeah.
Yeah. I asked that question, but I would be very surprised if you couldn't. That would be kind of shitty and stupid.
I think you for sure can. Like that's the answer. You definitely can.
Does it say somewhere that you can? Because I couldn't find anywhere that it actually says.
It doesn't say that you can't.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say
I-
100%, but I would assume.
I'm not gonna reread the blogs.
Especially with like U23, right? Like you're gonna win a U23 card and tell people you can't play it in the classic mode.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Like an in-season U23.
Right.
Like that doesn't make any sense. One of the questions I had for you, Laird, somebody from Sorare Data made that like one-page infographic, and it says that in August there's going to be in-season tournaments for Premier League, Bundesliga, La Liga, but in the blogs, those are only mentioned from March to August in the transition period. It's not. Oh, maybe I saw that.
If you go, I'm actually
no,
looking
I
at
see
it
that.
here.
Okay, I see that now. I see it now. In like I'm thinking of I'm thinking of the second screenshot in that blog. Never mind, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel pretty comfortable with like everything in the announcement. There's two things that concern me a little bit. One is, we kind of mentioned it earlier, is that either midweek utility or the utility of your cards when there's not 10 licensed teams playing in that region. I know that they talked about special weeklies. We'll see. Like, there's a level of concern I have there. The other one is much greater level of concern is the speed at which new season cards come out and these competitions fire up, which we've all seen. There can be a 3-4 week delay on new season cards. Once the MLS starts, we might not see those cards for another 4 weeks. Do you guys think, A, that's a big deal? B, do you think they're going to change the way that they get those cards out? Will they get them out faster? Are they going to do something different?
So my assumption has always been they're limited by something external to them, and for them to all of a sudden be like, oh, we can get out a shit ton of a supply before the season actually starts and do that, it just feels that much worse that they weren't doing it before, because it was just a huge miss before.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 months into the season, the MLS cards coming out. They better, but do I think they will be able to? I don't know. It's like one of those internal placeholder cards.
So, like, I buy a plain red.
That's nasty.
Mbappe,
Ooh, that's nasty.
and then when it comes out, I'm like, oh, it looks great.
It's gonna be like a
oh, whoa.
what's the word I was
An
looking for?
IOU.
What was that little
It's
thumbs
basically-
up bubble?
What?
There was like a little thumbs up bubble that just came out of your. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Why does it
It's
do
an
it for
Apple.
you and not any of us?
I have a Mac. That's why it does it.
Oh, please.
Christ
I think
almighty.
this one does
I feel like a
one too,
peasant
right?
now.
Come
Oh my god, I feel like
on. Anyway, yeah. Are you sure you guys like have enough money to play So Rare? If you can't,
I have a
even
Mac
come
at
back?
work, and I've done it at work, and it does.
Anyway, I don't know why is Alistair telling me to lean back. I don't know.
oh.
Further.
Yeah, I think it's going to be
I
placeholder
think
cards, and they're going to
he wants
be
the V.
I think they're going to have Gary V draw everyone, like that.
Oh,
That's what we'll
yes.
get, and then they'll convert it into a So Rare card.
Sick.
So it'll be like a mischievous Mbappe.
Mm.
That was the worst one to use Mbappe for that. It should have been like, sleazy Sven.
Oh my god, Cade Cowell
Slippery?
scores again.
God damn, Kate.
3 decisives, boys. That might be a first place for your boy. I bought a
Where are these?
U23
Oh, their
goalie.
lineups are in. All right, hold on. I got to make a rivals lineup.
Oh my god, Cade, you prince.
Goriron's not starting.
No.
Oh god.
Jesus is
This
the.
game.
What do you think is
Gigsy's
the
starting?
What do you think is the
Sorry.
necessary amount of supply for league? Like we'll use the Premier League for example. So Premier League in August, first weekend of the game slate. What percentage of the overall supply needs to be in circulation prior to that starting, the in-season tournament.
Do you want my real answer?
I want your answer as if you were so rare, and you're like, what's the best percentage to make the kickoff of this tournament not a joke? Because if it's 1%, it's a fucking joke. If it's 2%, it's a joke. Like you don't want to create a game where there's this enormous opportunity for the first 3 cards that are auctioned because you can win your money back just because you're the only people playing. Like, that's fucking stupid.
I think the right answer is all of the supply.
All of the auction supply, because you have to
Make
reward.
everything available on day one.
I think that'd be dope. And
So-
and like the argument is that is the most expensive they will ever be. So why
Theoretically.
wait? I was
So-
gonna say like at least 30% has to be out.
All of it.
Would that be you instant buy all of them, or would you set the price via like 3 auctions and then you instant buy the rest? I mean, I think that actually isn't the craziest idea. I mean, the first mint's going to go the highest, and maybe you set the price like the average of the first 5 auctions or something, and then instant buy from there or something. I don't know.
Cade Cal scored 100. No.
Really?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, he's playing against some Canadian Premier League team
Let's
called
go.
Forge in Hamilton, Ontario.
I should have captained his ass. Yeah,
Bug
it
under
would
my
be
desk.
amazing. It would be amazing if they had the whole supply out.
But I just don't understand how you would do it.
I mean, if they're
You just do
going
it, man. Just do it.
if they're going to have a single card for sale 2 months before the league starts, they could have all the cards for sale. Like the problem lies with people that are joining the game and the entry point. Like, I think back to when I was like somewhat interested in Rainmakers, just because I was like, I'm curious as to what's going on. I want to play this game. And I felt like a new user coming into Sorare where I was like, I want to buy epic cards. I want to buy epic packs. You can't get them. Like, nobody's selling them. You can't even enter the game if you wanted to. And I think that would create some sort of that element. But do they care? They make all their money. I think you just kind of put a limit on like new users and growing users over time. But the argument is too, the best time to join the game would be the start of the season, kind of like FPL. That's where all the marketing happens and everything like that.
Dutch
Does that like
auctions?
mess up their books too? Like they're making all this money in the first week of the season and then plummets after that?
What books?
We don't care. I don't care, but
But
do they?
I mean, it just requires them to like forecast differently. But like, don't they want to sell like? Wouldn't you want to sell as many cards as possible when everyone wants them, which is at the beginning of the season? So
And one of the
Sure,
things
yeah.
one of the things that would guarantee too, the part that we've been in up to this point with Sorare is because I think it's I'm kind of going off at this point, but I think it's hilarious that everybody comes up like, oh, let's make limiteds 500 and rares 50. Like, what the fuck are they minting now? Go find a limited over 500. Go find a rare over 50. But what it would guarantee selling them
There's
all.
lots of those rares over
Well,
50.
Yeah, but I mean, my point is they're not minting 100. And what it would
Right.
guarantee is if they forecast or if they actually have a full season plan of when they reward new season cards in the classic modes, they will mint 100% of the supply. And all these people asking for stability in the card market, we will not see stability until they mint every single card every single season of every league. There will be no stability because you haven't seen the full supply.
You haven't even seen the full supply,
You have-
baby.
You haven't even seen all of these
You-
inches.
You think we're over minting?
You
We haven't even started
You
yet,
haven't even
baby.
started minting, baby.
Somebody commented that, and he's playing right now, that Ryan Gauld's current season cards are up to like 85 or 86. Like we're getting close.
Yeah.
Well, sure.
Well, I mean, they still have to mint, 14 more in the next month? 2 months.
Yes. That's the math.
They probably will. And I mean, they have to reward them too, so I guess that.
Yeah, I think one of the best arguments for it is the argument that with the new in-season game modes, like they're kind of setting up an annual value proposition, and the cards will not be any more expensive than they are at that given point for those in-season. I mean,
Right.
with despite like anything that might happen with the open market of like demand and like new users coming in, but value proposition wise and utility wise, those cards don't have any more. The most utility is before the season starts.
I don't know how they do it, but I think that's like the future of how they sell cards. Like getting them all available. And that doesn't mean all of them sell, but I don't know.
Going back to what Scosmo said with placeholder cards, I think there could be like a really fun reveal. Like if they had like the celebration styles and like the two or three different models of the cards, when you quote unquote open your card, like after they've released the pictures or whatever, maybe there's like 2 or 3 versions that you could possibly get, and it might make that process quote unquote fun.
Oh, like a team of the week.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Is that lame?
You get a special edition. Oh, my biggest rival is PKA. Let's go.
I was thinking of like was it 2 years ago where they had like the different background designs, and they're like, oh yeah, people are gonna collect like the
triangles. I got all the triangles.
Yeah, nobody cared. Literally nobody.
I bet there is a very small, like maybe 5 or less people that actually did try to like, I got the full collection and they're all Zigglies.
I love this question from JVic. If placeholder cards can be a thing, do you think they can or should reward placeholder cards at the end of a season for next year utility?
What would we complain about?
Yeah, right. I actually don't like that. I like the idea of rewarding the placeholder cards at the very beginning of the season. So instead of like right now they're going to give away old season MLS cards during the first 3 weeks of the season. I would rather they gave away some kind of placeholder cards of new season cards.
Yeah, I don't know. Placeholders get kind of slippery.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just like you don't want to give placeholder cards and then a license falls through or something like that, right?
Oof.
Like,
hey, this is an IOU. It's as good as a Lambo.
just as good.
It's just as good as money.
Or what if
Alistair
could you
is
sell
asking
the placeholder?
What's that?
Like, would you be allowed to sell the placeholder?
Yeah, see that's
placeholder probably is not an NFT.
I don't know. That's where there's a whole lot of weird stuff that probably goes on. Plus, you don't get your Starkware airdrops on the placeholders, so I don't want no stinking placeholders.
You just want them to get the cards out fast.
Yeah,
right.
Hopefully they're able to do that. But I mean, I think the two things that I think about are like media day and like transfers. And it's like you don't want to mint a card of a team, like a guy gets transferred before the season even starts. He never plays a game for that team or gets loaned out or something. Alistair's asking, what division do you guys think you'll be put into? They said that based on your gallery, they're going to give a rough division. But I don't know, like it'll kind of be interesting because you get 3 different lineups. So they'll be like, oh, you get 2 1s and 1 3.
Jim, you explained U23 to me perfectly. Can you explain divisions to me?
Perfectly, probably not. But so each classic and in-season contest for champion, contender, or challenger and contender
Mm-hmm.
allow multi-entry. I wish they would
Yep.
just say 3 entries, because
Yeah.
multi-entry is just like, oh, I can enter unlimited. No, you have 3. So you have 3 different lineups.
All right, so let's do this. I'm gonna play in the Champion Europe, and I've got a West Ham stack, a Fulham stack, and a Man City stack.
So each one of those are independent lineups. They are all tracked independently. They will all get promoted and relegated independently.
What if I mix my West Ham stack with Fulham?
It's
players?
dependent. So you'll have, like, the way I think it will go is you'll have a black 1, black 2, black 3, and you get to select what cards go in there every game week.
Okay.
And black 2 can be in Division 2, black 3 can be in Division 3, and you get to pick strategically which cards you want to go in which.
Okay. So my Division 1 team, I'll probably want to make my strongest team unless I have some weird thought that I can win Division 3 or something.
Yeah. So this is a weird
Larry's shaking his head. Hold on.
This is a weird tanking thing that I think might happen, which is if you have enough to make 2 lineups, you can bounce back and forth between divisions, right? Like, here's an analogy. In intramural sports in high school or college, we never played A. You can't win A. You can win the shit out of B. Let's go to B, right? I want to win B. So what you do is you put all of your good cards in your Division 3 lineup. We'll say that's the last division.
Mm-hmm.
When it gets promoted and you win, you get, like, you finish a top reward, you win. Then you put all your shitters in the Division 2 lineup to again get relegated back down, and you keep flipping them back and forth. So you're not trying to win the higher. Like, the argument is the prizes are going to be a good enough incentive to always want to go up.
Right.
But I could see people playing that. Like, it is probably going to be a balance.
And honestly, for some people, that might be fine. For me, I want to try to win a star.
So
Yeah.
you could have 3 Division 1 lineups.
Right.
Gotcha.
Like they don't have to be in different divisions. So like if you had 3 that just absolutely smack, like that's what you want. 3 chances at the best reward.
But it's not like your players are locked in that lineup or
Right.
division. Every game week, you can strategically move your cards around. So if you're like, I'm in Division 1, I got promoted because I did well enough in Division 2. I don't think I can do well in Division 1. I'm going to throw this. I'm gonna put my stinkers out here because I'm just going to waste them.
Are you better off? Like, here's the other weird thought. Are you better off not submitting? Like, let's say West Ham's playing away to Liverpool, and I know they're going to get their fucking teeth kicked in. Am I better off just? Am I better off just not submitting a lineup if I want to stay in Division 1?
So in the transition period, they're not relegating you from ignoring entries.
Okay.
But they just said in the transition period, so I don't know how it will happen.
Right. So, but like, what happens if
my goalie gets hurt?
Or just like the team that you stack is off that next week, and it's like you get relegated just because they don't have a game. Yeah. And of course, the response is like, well, just buy cards so that you have a lineup. But like that, like you'll get relegated when your MLS, like when MLS goes the off season. Like that, like I was talking to Sturfel today about it because like he's like heavily Argentina, and he's like, so in the off season I just get relegated, and it's like, yes, but it only takes 2 or 3 weeks to like get back once the season starts. But
I would assume you won't get relegated ever if you don't enter a lineup. I would assume that. I would assume they would do that. They would implement that you would never get relegated if you don't enter it. And then the second one is that there is enough incentive to not enter shitters to get relegated on purpose. Because in that example, you'd say, oh, West Ham is off. Well, you can still enter them in the lineup, but it is against your best interest to do that. And they should make it that way.
Should it be within my, like, should I want though to submit my West Ham stack when Liverpool's playing? Like, let's say that's my Division 1 team. Should I want to submit that?
That's up to you, baby girl. Should you?
That's why I need Cap 220, Cap 240 back, so I can put those West Ham guys in there. No?
So this is also a theory that I think everybody thinks that the cap modes and the shit players, that it's like I think 60 to 70% of the cards are like useless in actually winning or finishing top. which I agree with. But I think one of my theories is that Sorare actually thinks that those cards are going to live in the lowest divisions. And I think that that might not be the case, but it could happen if the incentives are good enough, right? If the incentives are good enough, the shitter cards could live in Division 5 limited, right? They could live in Division, I don't know how many divisions are in rare that they had. They could live in that and actually kind of compete. And that could be a good solution. But I think what's going to happen more likely is the people who will say, I can't win Division 2. I'm going to try to win Division 3.
They're going to relegate
kind of thing.
themselves. And
They're going to
go
relegate
smash people.
themselves, and then they're going to have better cards than the shitters. Or you also have the flavor of bad managers, right? You have bad managers with good cards. You have 4 star cards and somebody who can't play a fucking starting goalkeeper to save their life because they don't look at anything. They will still beat 5 shitters. But I mean, I think it'll all kind of
also
play
new
out.
managers will fall in there, and then I wonder if you'll see people like even plan this out. They're like, all right, game week 627, West Ham plays Sheffield at home, so I need to get relegated 2 divisions by then so that I can play my West Ham stack at home.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, I could see Gator Guy doing stuff like that. He's pretty in depth with
Why are you
that.
picking
But
on
like,
Gator Guy?
I'm not picking on him. He is very like
He's
technical.
gonna be sandbagging.
He looks for every advantage he can get. He's been playing DraftKings forever. I respect it, but it's a different level of attention, because there are the smallest advantages that you can gain like that. So I mean, I think people will do that for sure.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that the lower divisions are going to necessarily be where those tier 3s and tier 4s get their utility. I just feel like that's going to be gamed in some way.
Yeah, I think it's more likely than not, but I think that there is a path forward of balance and iteration that could get it to that point.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you start seeing that, you need to start building the gap between the different tiers. They already have that lever, it seems, with the different loot boxes. So like even that should be a lever to pull. It's like, okay, well, you just grow the gap between what an elite box is versus a premium box versus a standard box versus a light box. And then you just have to keep incentivizing people to not relegate themselves. And another thing with new users is we talk about the multi-entry and the 3 lineups, but I mean, 70-80% of people aren't going to, at the rare and above level, they're not even going to be doing any of that. Probably.
Yeah.
But another thing that's good is it gives them the opportunity. Like one of the best magical pieces of Sorare is when you win cards that you don't know, when you explore new teams, there is a place to put them, right? If you're winning a contender card, if I'm winning a Japanese card, like, oh, who's Sho Sasaki? I don't know who that is. Well, he's my new favorite guy and I love him. And I can now start building my second lineup, right? And they're giving us the kind of the same amount of competitions. I mean, not really, because you could play some of those cards in like 5. You could play them in the division, all-star, the 3 caps, potentially, probably not 220, but 3 lineups. It's pretty good.
Laird, do you know who the mystery data provider is from Korea?
Yes, because it's not a mystery. Yeah, hold on.
It's probably somebody I've never heard of.
Pro.
Yeah. Okay. I was just curious if it was like StatsBomb or some other big stats company that I may have heard of.
I had never heard of them.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean a whole lot.
Well, it does actually, because you're the data stepdaddy or something.
Data stepdaddy?
It's something like that. I mean, like,
yes.
if HG is the data daddy, then what do you? It's like son? I don't know.
The data father-in-law.
Yeah, data son-in-law. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Also, I think alliteration needs.
Do you have
occur, right?
access to the database to run queries, Laird? The Sorare data database?
I mean, I have access, but I would have no idea how to do it.
Oh
What do you want to see?
no,
I like that, the data godfather.
I don't need to see anything. That would just really cement yourself as the data stepdaddy if you're out there running some queries.
Just running queries all day.
Yeah, you're just running queries, dude.
I used to all the time. Yeah.
What kind of queries were you wanting him to run, Jimmer?
Oh, nothing. I was just seeing if he had access because then he's data stepdaddy.
Okay,
I guess
that's fair.
not only do you have access, but you do it.
Mhm.
I don't know, a couple joins, join some tables.
Yeah.
Tables. The tables.
Tables. They're my livelihood. So all right. So after this big announcement, moving your regions around, Laird's got all of his midget land guys in Challenger. Is that right?
Challengers.
Challengers. Do you have a lot of stuff you got to move around to like fix things, goalies paired with guys? Like, what are you looking at, Laird, that you gotta like? What's the work you got to put in now?
I haven't even looked, to be honest.
You gotta know.
But so
Hashtag know your gallery.
I don't. So knowing my gallery. So Sporting is obviously very important to my gallery, and Midgeland, and they're both in Challengers. And MLS is in Challengers, so I have cards there. I was already playing my Argentina and Liga MX guys together, and now I can continue to do that in Contender. And I have it's a couple from Brazil, so I'll play those with like MLS. And I don't have a lot of European contender cards. Like I don't have a lot of cards in Croatia or Austria or wherever else. Scotland. I don't have a lot of cards from Scotland.
Did the Rare Pro removal break some stuff for you?
So yes, but I wasn't that good at Rare Plus anyway. So like it's not a huge one, to be honest. Like the Rare Plus combinations I had were like Adon, Coates, and I happen to have those both in Rare and Super Rare. Same thing with like the Midgeland guys that I would have. Like I have the goalie in Super Rare. And so it's not that different. It's just that obviously I now have to compete in the Super Rare division and hope that they're good enough.
My grossest one is I have a Mignon Rare with a Theo and Tamori Super Rare.
Oh, fuck.
Do I got to go buy? Really, I got to go buy a Mignon Super Rare? Like
that is
or just sell one of them? Maybe, I don't know.
No. You just play the Super Rares in the Rare division.
I thought you were gonna say play to win the game. Which would be go buy Mignon.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, that is what you should do.
Okay.
What is a Mike Mignon Super Rare go for?
It's multiple ETH probably. I don't know.
I think I saw one recently. It was like I think I saw one. It was like 2.3. What's broken for me? Super rare. I mean, super.
I can tell you right now
goalies,
that's not happening.
What?
Not happening.
Buying
2.3 ETH for a super rare.
Mangina. Old Greg's got a mangina. I'm old Greg.
Somebody called Selling My Gallery bought a Mignon Super Rare yesterday. Oh no, traded it. Excuse me. They traded a Jan Oblak Super Rare, a Kvaratskhelia Rare, and a Kimmich Rare for Mignon Super Rare.
Wonder if they knew something.
Seems.
It claims to be 1.5
I mean, I feel like
5 in value.
I feel like
it can't be.
Well, how old is Oblak? He's like 31.
Sure. Yes, 31. And Mignon is 28.
He's got a good 4 more years. Got a good 4 more years on him.
Wait, how old's Mignon?
28.
Said 20, 28.
When I bought him, I could play Mignon in U23.
Yeah, I thought I remember. I thought the same thing, Andy.
I bought him as a
28.
U23 goalkeeper.
I feel like when I think I won him in limited though, which it wouldn't make sense because that would have had to be
No.
Yeah, that's impossible.
He must have been 25,
I think you.
25 or 26.
Well, actually, I was going to say I think you're both lying.
It's impossible.
However, so his oldest card, his age on it says 24.
Mm-hmm.
But his birthday is July 2nd.
Right. So I remember.
Dude, the cream of
remember-
the crop birthdays.
Yeah, perfect.
I remember
birthday.
YNWA was like, "Hey, I've got a secret for you. There's this guy. His card says he's 24, but he's actually you can play him in U23, and that's the only reason I bought Mike Mignon was he was like, hey, he's kind of a quote unquote cheat code, but he says it says he's 24, but he's actually U23 still, and that's why I bought him. Thanks, Mark.
That was one of the biggest mysteries to me for a while, and maybe still is what determines the age that they put on the card. Because it's like, it wasn't as like, oh, the age when the league starts, the age at the beginning of the year, the age, because there were cards that like they would list their age higher than they actually were when they were minted. It didn't make any sense.
The best one ever is the Ortwin DeWolf story. How
oh yeah,
they had the wrong birthday for years, and then we were all
like
about to lose our utility, and then they were like, somebody asked, like literally somebody in the community,
one more. It was like
somebody in the community
says,
found out and fixed it.
It was like this Wikipedia says he's 22.
Yeah.
Andy, do you know how much you paid for that Mignon?
No,
I'm looking at it right now.
$300.
What an asshole!
It was 0.283 ETH.
And at
No,
the time,
that was
it was
probably-
way
that was-
down.
That was
Was
probably
Probably
$70
like $80.
$74.
I remember paying when I
You've
bought
won
Kai Havertz.
$10,000 in rewards with that card.
When I
You
bought
are killing this platform.
Part of the problem for sure.
when I
Jesus
bought Kai
Christ.
Havertz, it was like 0.7, and it was like, I feel like it was like $80, but it was like 0.7 ETH.
Like, you guys are the reason today had to happen.
Yeah, I know. There's
You're not wrong,
Yeah,
but you're kind of an asshole.
yeah. What a dickhead.
Fucking leeches.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, like you really think about the way cash prizes should work, and it really should go towards the people that are spending money on your platform. And like someone like me, I want to win cash. So make me spend money, and I'll do the work. I'll trade my Lucas Fabianski old season super rare and pay the point whatever ETH I gotta pay on top of it to a trader to get the new season version. Like, I'm gonna do that. So make me spend money. I'll do it.
Spend money, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Spend it.
Oh, look at that. It's on VIX 4.
Hey, a question for you guys. So after the announcement today, which I've soaked in, and I'm like, hey, yeah, this makes sense for the platform.
You were soaking in it?
I'm soaking in it. Yeah.
Mm.
When do they do this for NBA and MLB?
When MLB rivals? When NBA rivals?
I mean, so maybe obviously they need rivals, but they can trial this, I guess, in soccer. But it's a pretty clear blueprint. I personally think you can save if it needs saving. NBA people argue probably yes. MLB 2 is just take the risk as Sorare, take some capital and pay it out. It's like if you build it, they will come. Card prices will follow the pegging to the cash prizes for the new season cards. Implement the same exact thing. Same exact thing. Classic and in season, NBA, MLB. Do it.
and let the pegging commence.
Yeah, and then pay out all that money that they've been paying out in the MLB and NBA thresholds. Take those away. you guys both had the same reaction. But they need to put actual money into those in terms of payouts. I think NBA was a perfect example of what is happening and what would eventually happen to Sorare football if this continued, which is your payouts are linked to a variable price reward, which is a card. And the only thing that matters is, it's scarce. People might want it. You have to link it to money.
I'm not nearly smart enough to be able to figure out how to save baseball or NBA or really honestly have like intelligent.
It's
like
the same
ideas.
thing. The recipe is here.
Sure. Yeah.
Pay them out a shit ton of money in the in-season tournaments. Classic cards win in-season cards.
Didi says that I'd potentially buy new cards on NBA if there were actual worthwhile money rewards in the prize pools. So the question there is, did you play in the NBA in-season tournament? Because I think didn't that have some cash rewards in it? I like limp dicked into that thing and like tried to play it, but I was competing and not competing, and I did horrible. Laird, I feel like you were going to say something.
I think Jimmer's right. Like, okay. I think if they just like I was like here looking at my baseball cards, like I did not buy a single baseball card last season. Like I bought the first season ones and I played those cards, and I finished last season with 120 2023 cards that I paid $0 for.
I'll bet your son was pissed that you weren't spending money.
Yeah, you won 120?
120 across limited and rare.
Okay. Right, but like
having spent $0.
Right, but
in the second season.
That's where I think one of the things that they may need to change a little bit and tweak, especially with NBA, is the positionality. Because what they need to do with the classic to in-season conversion is give you the carrot to buy. And if you had in NBA, if you had bought, or if you had won, let's say, a forward, a guard, a center, and you needed another forward, another guard, and then you won a center, you won another center, and you're like, fuck. Well, I'm going to sell my centers and I'm going to go buy a forward and a guard. Like, engaging with the market.
Why do you need it though?
You don't need it now.
But how is it any different than you just having 3 and needing 2 more? Like, why does the positionality force you to buy as opposed
just because you could just wait? You could easily wait in NBA to win 5.
Yeah, okay.
Like, you could sit back and just say,
"That shit's hard this year, man."
Right, and yes, that's one of the challenges. But one of the worst parts of NBA isn't that it's hard to win, it's that when you win, it's shit. And if
it's like chicken and egg though, right?
Well, that's why they need to take, Sorare needs to take the risk and inject a shit ton of capital into the prize pools. People aren't just going to be like, "Oh, I'm going to just start buying cars for a whole bunch of fucking money assuming that this is going to be worthwhile." Like,
right.
Sorare has to take the risk. And it's like, you could either watch it slowly go to 0 or actually take a risk. And that's why I think this change for football is so important, is it establishes a healthy ecosystem and at least could answer the question of a long-term sustainable model. It might not work, but at least they fucking tried. It sure wasn't working before.
I don't know how successful or unsuccessful that in-season tournament was for them.
The in-season tournament for NBA was kind of an asterisk because nobody knew what the fuck it. Like, the NBA players didn't know what the fuck it was.
Yeah.
So
Dude, I don't really building lineups for it too.
I don't really consider that. Like, I would go in there and it was just like, how half of my players aren't eligible. I have no idea why. I'm out. I don't really consider that a good experiment. It was probably halfway decent experiment just to kind of see, but
I think the hardest part was that you had to set lineups for the day after, and NBA
that was the
doesn't work
worst
that
part.
way.
Yeah,
Right. Which is weird because that's actually my biggest complaint about NBA, that you have to be. Well, you guys both of you took a sip and down at the exact same time.
we
But
just start talking, baby.
yeah, the importance of just tracking all the news before the deadline is that's your biggest edge. If you can be at your computer knowing all the news and knowing who becomes the cheat code. And they were like, okay, so we don't have that anymore. You're going to have to set your lineup today for tomorrow and have no idea who the fuck is playing. But at least you paid for these cards now instead of using your old cards. Yeah, they got to fix it.
That's what made me so sad about the in-season tournament was I said it was the fourth week, and I was doing pretty good. And then I had 3 or 4 guys that just smashed early. And then later in the day, I just had a guy DNP. And it was oh, I'm basically out of the in-season tournament now.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't, but I felt like I was.
Because you couldn't compete anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was that uppercase?
Yeah.
Sounded a little uppercase in your tone. Oh, nice, man. Oh, just we.
Hey, so we're gonna settle this bet between Sean and Jimmer right now on stream, or
I did that
till later.
Sean agreed with me. Well, I'm not gonna. Unlike Sean, I'm not gonna say anything about him without him being here to defend himself. But we settled it.
That's fine. I have him in the backstage right now. I'm about to bring him on.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I've never been on a podcast with Sean.
I was gonna say I might leave because I.
Oh
so
man.
Yeah, you guys were talking about it earlier today. I was
okay,
I can't listen to any more of this.
So
I just want to be can you let me know when you're done so that I can get back to
in Sean's defense, the way my mind went to actually do the bet and to explain the bet was probably so convoluted and confusing that it was my fault. But what he said earlier today, I did not say at all, which was the fact that if both thresholds ran in parallel, this current implementation and the new implementation, that the new implementation would cost Sorare more money. I did not say that.
Hey, are you guys going to go for the jackpot? You going to go for the top prize on that new threshold? Oh, come on, Laird. Have some ambition. Buy a 0L15 guy, and let's have a little ambition.
They What if they allowed you to shave some points off with Sorare coins?
It's like buying points in the sports book.
Yeah.
I bought a half point.
I still really wish I know I wish the friendly matchups and rivals you could do a whole lot more with, but I realize that there's a lot of gaming and bullshit that people could do with that. But it would be so fun to be able to bet coins and friendly rivals matchups.
Yeah.
The worst cases you get to is people just offloading Sorare coins to multi accounts because they're just bullshitting rivals matchups.
I'm just looking here. When I won Cap 240 Rare, I didn't even score enough points to hit the top threshold. So I think
I'm gonna go look at my history here and see rare threshold how many I would have hit in the last.
Dude, 390 is hard. So even for Sam mentioned doing that for rare,
it's hard to score that in All-Star.
Yeah.
But you're also winning 5 thresholds, so I mean
here's the deal though, $250.
Don't be a little paper hands bitch boy.
So I'm so angry that I didn't bring that up earlier, because that's what I was thinking of when I was oh, these people who are this game's too hard, and I'm they're just a bunch of paper hand bitch boys. And now so it's here, and I forgot to bring it up.
Oh, paper hand bitch boys.
Yeah.
Oh yes. I scored 315. What's the 340?
Yeah, you got 0
Okay.
because you said 340 and
Okay, hold on. I'm still going.
Do you guys know? Do they still have card rewards in here as well?
yes.
Just like they previously did. Okay.
304. Okay, that wouldn't have done anything. I might just hit that lower boy.
Sir Scout said that in Cap 240 limited last weekend, 406 would have gotten you tier 3. So it gets you tier 3, I guess, now in $25.
266.
I think I saw last week in limited thresholds, they gave out 50 grand. $50,000 in $5 bills. Like
Hell yeah.
literally, that is so many swipes. Like that is crazy. Isn't that crazy?
I mean, it's like a quarter of what they gave
Yeah.
out in rare, probably.
Yeah, but $50,000 in $5 bills
So
is
it's a limited rewards.
nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah. I think one of the things that it does help a lot with when getting rid of the threshold that people don't like to talk about, but is one of the biggest risks to the platform is just like multi-accounting. I always think it's a big risk, but a lot of people don't. But like that's probably running wild and limited.
It is absolutely running wild in limited, probably, and rare.
Yeah.
Like,
But
how hard is it
like,
to set your wife up with an account and be like, all right, I'm going to help you buy 7 players and I'll show you how to set your lineup every week?
but
I'm-
it's so much easier to do that than what the new proposal is, which is competing and trying to finish the top.
yeah. Actually making
I
a good lineup.
think at least.
Is that bad for the platform if people are getting their spouse to play and quote unquote compete?
I don't like. I personally don't think that there's anything that should be done specifically about that. Like it's such a gray area because like it's very difficult to tell. Like Andy, it's like, oh no, your wife can't. She just can't fucking play. Sorry. Like there
Well,
are.
she can't. If she
What
tried,
do you
she
mean?
would fucking suck.
Oh.
Oh,
But I'm just saying, like, there are probably plenty of people who are like, okay, if you are in a reasonable relationship, you want to share hobbies, you want to share things. It's like Surveyor is a big part of our lives. It's a big part of a lot of people's lives. And it's like, oh, what are you doing? It's like, oh, yeah, we're watching games. It's like, oh, I don't really care, but I can beat you. Like, there are legitimate wives out there that want to play, and it's such a gray area.
no,
So,
there
like,
aren't.
there's 20%.
You are just making
20
shit
per-
up now.
20% of women.
No,
I'm
it's
trying to
20%
defend
of
my.
users
I'm trying to
click the
find.
wrong box when they.
I'm trying to defend Mrs. Jimmer here, okay? But I don't know. Like, I think it's a difficult thing to try to protect. I don't know that there is anything. I just feel way more comfortable with like somebody who is like trying to get their wife interested and trying to compete in a division versus just trying to grind a threshold, right? I feel better about that. Like it's still one person that's really making the decisions, trying to get their wife into it, but I don't know. It's not something I did. I did the same thing as you, Andy. I made my wife get a global club team,
Yep.
and she just picked like 2 guys that weren't even in the squads. I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But I didn't tell her. I don't think she even.
pick guys
I don't think
based
she
on
even
their
won a.
attractiveness.
I don't think she even won a custom series card.
It's funny because my wife did win some custom series cards, and she gets offers on them periodically. And she's like, "Hey, I got a so rare offer today." Like trying to like, I don't know, like meet me in the middle on something that
Oh
I'm into.
man,
I'm like, "Oh
I
yeah,
might have to
what
buy
kind
your
of
wife's
offer?"
gallery. I might have to buy your wife's gallery. Get her out of
Yeah.
here.
It's like 12 cents. She's like, "Oh, I got offered 12 cents for some Moroccan guy."
I wish they would have never said like these cards will never have like utility. I think it would be cool to just pop in a couple of like special weekly contests or something. Okay, is it worse than commons? Like, just let them play with themselves. Who cares?
Want to play with themselves?
Yeah, let them play with themselves.
I'd be down with a special weekly for some of those weird cards.
I mean, it wouldn't really make sense at this point because there's like nobody expecting that, so it's just be like some random shit that's just
How
bullshit.
many Messi cards did you own of the
I bought
Global
another
Cup cards?
Messi. I bought another Messi like last week. Somebody had a silver
saw the
out there for
Ooh.
$16, snagged it.
I was gonna say, I thought when I was looking at my gallery the other day, I was trying to see something with my limiteds, and I forgot to unclick National Series, and the floor on the Messi National Series was like $16, and I was like, "What?"
It's been $15 for the past year.
Dude, a ton of
I
them
have-
sold on
I have a
January
silver.
29th.
Really? Somebody swept
Yeah.
them?
Oh yeah, a ton of them. Testing So Rare and Jimmer.
Oh, you see me? You see me out there?
Yeah, I did. Oh wait, Mariel Cando.
Let's see. What is it at now?
From
The
Testing
Messi,
So
the
Rare. That looks
Messi National
sketchy.
Series card. That is just a magic card.
I think I own 15 of them.
Like,
Wow.
if you're like
have
me
one.
out there buying Ronaldo's, it's still the floor's still $15. If you're out there buying Ronaldo's like me, which is more so on collectability, which is probably dumb. It's like this is about as good as it gets right here. The Messi National Series cards. There's way more of them than Ronaldo's, but man,
There's not that many though,
World
right?
Cup winning
Like a couple
Argentina.
thousand?
I bought a few Enzos because I think he won. Did he win Young Player of the tournament? I think he might have. And I was like, oh man, I'm getting rich on this one.
Julian Alvarez might be good too because he won the. He won the. What's the
Or did
triple?
he win it?
What's the triple word? The tuple?
Treble?
Treble. Yeah.
The Treble.
The triple.
Peyton said folks were saying.
Oh,
If
folks.
it was good for MLS. What is
What
the
do you
thought
mean,
behind that?
folks? I would
Yeah.
assume that is the main reason. Yeah.
That's why.
Also, who do MLS cards have to compete? Like, what other MLS card? Like, what other regions do MLS cards compete against in the summer?
Brazil. Yeah. Some of the like Denmark starts in like July though. And so doesn't Belgium start in July?
Yeah,
Like,
they
it's
start
pretty
early.
much it's like basically like mid-May to early July is when MLS and Brazil are the only ones. And all the good players will be off for Copa America.
Yeah.
So we'll be running a bunch of classic MLS cards, winning a bunch of Portugal, Turkey, JPL, Eredivisie cards. Well,
It's interesting, isn't it? Isn't that weird?
So like that is a really interesting point because what are you going to win? You can't win in-season cards. The seasons will be over.
Seasons are over when new seasons start.
But that goes against the whole proposition that you're winning cards that you can play in the in-season mode because you would never be able to play them in the in-season mode.
Correct. I don't know. Yeah, like can you only win MLS and Brazil cards in Challenger in the summer?
It's a good question.
I don't know. Do you think that they've thought about that?
I would hope so.
Surely.
I mean, that is a very obvious question when it comes to like determining the tiers. Is this the time frame in which they play to like correlate, but also rewards? But rewards is kind of like a secondary question to that.
So I've read a ton of reactions and questions and all this stuff, and nobody has brought that up until just now.
It was something that I was talking to Harry about because I was like, they're gonna have to manage that like so well is like these, and they don't really do it super well today, I don't think, in terms of like managing supply and making sure that it runs the whole contest and saying like, oh shit, we're out of all the stars. The stars are now shitty players because that's all we have left. And they'll have to amazing. So yeah, I don't know. Peyton said that I read that you can only win cards from people that are playing. I swear I read that.
I read somebody say that you can only win players that played that game week. But I didn't see so rare.
So why the only reason why MLS being a challenger matters is that there might be a little bit more of the in-season pool. Because you're just going to win in-season MLS cards. That's not, there's no benefit. So the big benefit that everybody's giving to MLS is the fact that you can win these better cards because they're challenger cards. You can't if they're not playing at the same time.
They will be though during like 9.
The only benefit is the $20,000 more that they have in the month-long pool of in-season tournaments, to which you'd have to win those cards and then play in the MLS tournaments. Unless you consider Brazil like really quality cards. But I wouldn't mind winning the cards that people think they're gonna win, because that's my assumption, is like everybody's high on MLS going into Challenger because, oh shit, yeah, now I can win Portugal cards. Now I can win JPL cards or whatever. And I wouldn't mind winning them to then continue the classic competition in the next season, but that's not what they're saying as part of their proposition.
I wonder if there's some correlation too between
unless you get placeholders.
Managers that own like MLS cards and own like Jupiler cards or something, where like, yeah, they are just excited that they can play them together during, certain months.
Yeah, I guess they do overlap a handful
quite
of months.
A bit.
It's quite a bit, yeah.
So maybe
maybe
it's not that big of a deal because there's like a handful of months where you're just.
It's really only like June.
Island MLS. So, yeah, maybe they thought about it, and we're just talking about something that really isn't a problem.
Surely,
yeah. Open and shut case, Johnson.
Yeah.
He broke in and hung up pictures of his family everywhere.
We're 82 minutes in. What else do we want to tackle? Anything else? Oh,
yes.
Okay, let's go.
Was there anything that you were either hoping or expecting that was just completely not mentioned today? Because there's one thing that I've seen multiple people bring up, and they're like, I can't believe they didn't add this.
Do you have the Saudi national anthem on cue?
I don't.
I can't believe they didn't address those goddamn bots.
That was a good one. This was it. I cannot believe they didn't say anything about a burn mechanism.
I didn't hear that. I never heard that.
I've seen multiple people bring.
You just want to talk about burn.
Well, these are all
although
people,
I do, but I didn't.
These are all people that think that the supply is over minted, and it's like, God, Jesus Christ! You want to play a game with 1,000 people? I don't get it. I mean, there are some people that want to do that, but
yeah,
they're not even to the supplies that they have advertised yet. Like, so there's no stop talking about this shit. Like, all Sorare needs to do is just maybe manage the auctions a bit better. That's it. They don't need a burn mechanism. And Now you asked me the other day, we talked about it too, and it was like, I think a burn mechanism is only cool or viable for something that's just like an additional aspect of the game, not something that solves some sort of economy issue in the market.
Like if it's gamified.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like, oh, burn X cards and you get a special edition of it, and it's like, oh, cool, yeah, cool. I don't know, but
Hey, if I own the rainbow of a player, his unique, super rare, and limited, should I be able to burn them all to get a rainbow card? And it's like Sven
rainbow
Coombs
card?
with a rainbow over his head, and he's like, there might even be a pot of gold at the end of it, and he's like dressed as a leprechaun. Can I have that card? I need it.
So
I think you should just get it for having them all.
I agree. You've brought this up before, this rainbow card.
Yeah.
And I remember the other thing you said about it is that card should be playable anywhere.
Of course, yeah.
But
It
now
is
your
now,
unique-
baby.
Yeah, your unique is now playable everywhere.
Oh, so we already have rainbow cards. I just need to wait. They've already addressed this.
You should
Yes.
get, if you get all of them, you should just get a little stamp on your unique card of a rainbow.
Yeah. Yeah, so back to burning, what I don't like about it is you're potentially breaking people's ability to collect. People may want to collect certain things. Like I like to collect Sven Coombs 69 mints. You're telling me somebody can burn that and I can't collect it? Like I don't like that. Wasn't a joke. I was serious, Jim. Also, like I don't know that these clubs love you burning their IP. Like, oh, we're gonna make it disappear and it can't trade on the secondary market and you can't get fees on it anymore. It just seems bad.
Yeah, it should be the opposite. It should be like the American flag. It's like if you burn a Liverpool card, you are banned from entering Anfield.
Yeah. Yeah, great rule.
Yeah.
That's going to keep me out, sure.
Yeah, and after all that, just like I have not heard a burning mechanism where it's like, oh no, that makes sense. It's good for everyone. It's good for the platform. It's good for the users. Like everybody, and Laird, you've said this before. Everybody just wants to burn all their bullshit and then get something good. Like
Yeah. It like screams like the whole charity case stuff. It's like all this stuff I don't want, and then
What charity are you burning?
Everyone wants. No. It's just like the threshold stuff and the weak and the bitch boy hands. It's just like
hey, we already
bitch boy hands. Bitch
we
boy
already
hands
have
are
Pal
charity.
Trader for this. You give him your 12 cards you don't want, and he'll give you the one you do want.
Yeah, and anybody who wants to burn their cards, fucking burn them today. There's an ETH burn address. Send them away, baby.
0x.0 repeating, I believe. Send them away.
I mean, you won't get anything for it, but if you have any Brendan Aaronsons,
Yeah.
send them.
Well, you won't get anything for them, but like you'll get some respect. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll
Yeah.
respect that.
Respect is great. Everybody loves that. Laird, I don't think I have an answer to your question though. I mean, there's not something that I was looking for them to address that they didn't.
The big thing that I was like hoping for was like take away rewarding mediocrity and reward people making good, great, excellent, amazing lineups. And I think we're getting that. The one thing that I have concern about is what we talked about a little bit before with the like divisions being gamed. And I think capped mode was actually good. I don't think thresholds were necessarily good, but I think capped mode was a good like skill-based method to play the game. And I would like to see it remain in some form.
I think it's going to be a big special weekly thing.
Like every week, cap mode.
Yeah.
I hope it is. I hope they have multiple special weeklies that are cool.
Yeah, agree.
Maybe a hot take, but one thing that I would prefer over multi-entry, limited plus, rare plus, super rare plus. Put them in there. Get rid of multi-entry. That is better progression in my opinion. I hate the progression word. I wish they'd stop using it because it means so many different fucking things these days.
Progression is
but-
spending money.
Well, it's like now they're saying progression is divisions, which is like really weird. That's not like that's progression in the game of like tournaments.
Is that what
But, like-
Guy and Dan said? Because I'll be 100% honest, I could not listen to that. I was not. It was not keeping my engagement at all.
I haven't watched it yet. other
First of
than
all, it was a
attempting to watch
fireside
it.
chat without a fire. Like,
Mm.
fuck is that?
I like how Dan had like the fake Bob Barker microphone. It was like really long and skinny, but it wasn't quite Bob Barker's.
I saw on Twitter somebody was
Rest in
like,
peace.
why does your community guy have a vape pen?
Dude, love Dan. Dan's
Yeah.
the man. Yeah, it wasn't. I watched it a good amount of it. It wasn't extremely informative. It was just like walking through everything. I don't think they're like you guys mentioned on your podcast earlier, Laird, where it's like I don't think there's going to be anything that isn't covered in the information. You're right.
I wish I thought of that before we even tried to watch it.
I think it was just like for the people who didn't want to read.
JVIC.
It was probably, I mean, part of it was like PR too. It was like, hey, we got to like contain this. We have to like explain why we did what we did.
Yeah, man, that those comments were fucking great. It was just clown show. It was like the same guy was like scammer, fraud, scam,
Right.
scam, fraud. Like,
Yeah,
good God.
What's funny is why have the comments on if it's not live and you're not going to be taking questions? Like that was such a oversight from them to even like allow comments on that.
I mean, I don't know.
You're not going to get any like good feedback there.
Okay, all right. So, in a world where we weren't live and we're just recording it, would you want to see comments of this?
Maybe after the fact, but I don't need live comments on a video that's not live.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Do you think they're like going to go back and read them?
All the clown emojis, and the
Yeah.
poop
Yeah.
emojis.
Like,
They probably
all right,
will.
We totaled 374 clown emojis. Yeah, it's now a circus. We are now a fucking circus.
If they added SRs to top division rewards to rares to limited, I think they already kind of
They
tried
do.
that.
No,
I
I think they're
it's
going
there.
to.
No,
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
they
already
are.
it's already there in their screenshots, right? If you're
Yeah.
Division 1, your elite box will have tier 3 and tier 4 super rare cards.
Okay.
Division 1 limited, you'll have tier 2 to tier 5 rare cards. You have to get to Division 1, so like
Yeah.
it's going
It's
to be
okay.
hard. But
JVIC's comment before that was great too, by the way.
Which also
can they
too
burn
though isn't
cards if
really
they don't even have fire?
progression. You don't progress into the next like division with tier 3s and tier 4s.
well, that's why like
Tier 3s and tier 4s are great fluff for like my gallery because I can wait. I can let them sit on the side and wait until maybe they're good or wait till they get a transfer that makes sense. But they're not
Do you not-
progression.
Do you not think that tier 3 and 4 cards will not be competitive in Division 5 of Super Rare?
I
No
think
clue.
that's a theory. There's no Division 5 in super rare. There's only
Or
Division
whatever.
3.
Yeah, the lowest division.
That was well. So I mentioned that earlier. The theory is I think that they will live there, and they like even a tier 3 today. Like if you're on an upswing tier 3, they could easily be a competitive card.
Mhm.
So I don't buy the tier 3 being trash, but tier 4 and 5 maybe. Yeah. So the theory is they'll live there, but if that's true, I think we'll wait to see.
Is a brand new manager, do they go to the bottom? They start at the bottom? Okay.
Yeah.
So somebody new could buy 5 just absolute bangers and come in, and obviously they won't stay in that division long, but I don't know. There'll be new managers on the platform, hopefully regularly.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Leon Bailey was a tier 3 super rare reward this week.
I saw that. He's I get it though. Like that's a weird one because he's damn near unstartable.
Keith won a tier 3 for Torres. I feel like that was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that.
But
put up 100. He did
going back to Leon. Leon is weird because he doesn't start half the games he plays in, but he still scores from the bench. So his stats are awesome. But I'm just so uncomfortable playing a guy that may start on the bench. I don't use Leon nearly enough because I'm just afraid that he'll sub in and not score and score 28 points.
His price
How old
graph
is he? He's 24,
spiked.
25,
He is 26.
26.
And he'll be 27 in August.
Oh, Christ. Oh, he's the Cristo.
Another guy I owned when he was U23. So yeah, why is his price spiking? Just because he's playing good?
Announcement, baby.
Announcement?
Announcement season.
It's like new cards are now in again.
Okay, yeah, but hold on.
And he's been banging lately. Smacking, excuse me.
Slapping,
Yeah.
clapping.
Slapping and clapping.
Slapping and clapping, banging and
All right,
slanging.
so these buys right here are from the announcement, though, right? Yeah, these are an hour and a half after the announcement. But like, there's even buys in here of old season cards, like this one and
Stars
this
will be
one.
stars.
I don't know.
Hey, let the stars be stars, Andy.
Do new season cards matter this year?
Yeah, in March.
In March, they do.
Well, in
Okay.
April.
April.
I wish they would just said April and not March 29th. Because I keep saying like, oh, March. But it's beginning of April.
Are we seeing this with like all? Maybe not all. Yeah, okay. I guess there was a lot of buying.
Oh
on
my
EPL
god, we are
cards.
fucking back. Let's go. We need an announcement every month.
No rare buys.
What do you
Yeah, I
guys think
guess-
is the
I don't know if
most
that's
likely
better.
thing that prior to August they'll tweak?
Oh,
Great
that they'll
question.
change.
Yeah. Because they have a lot of different, like, you could say anything from, like, the rewards in Classic, the payouts in the payouts in season, the where clubs sit in the tiers. I feel like
I'm
those
gonna
are
say.
those are
I'm
kind
gonna
of
say.
set.
I'm gonna say the most likely thing they'll change is the number of uniques required for the unique competitions. The 3 seems heavy. And I get this is probably affects such a small portion of the user base, but 3 seems very heavy. There was another weird part of that. Oh, the no super rares, and 3 of your cards have to be all new season for the like cash mode or whatever. Seems like that's gonna be pretty hard. Like,
Yeah, and people are vocal about it. It's a majority of the minority. 'Cause,
whales
like,
get their way. So
yeah, I was thinking about that too with super rares, right? Because like you can like there is a finite amount of people that can enter these tournaments. There always have been, but like even more so, like it'll be pretty clear with the in-season tournaments. But even with the classic, right? It's like there like each manager can enter 3 lineups, but there's only so many cards at super rare. There always has been. Like super rares, a really interesting thing. I think Peyton mentioned earlier. Is like, our super rare is going to be desirable, and it's almost like kind of where we're back in that mode again, where it's like when super rares. You remember that year where it was like super rares are going to be great again, and they were just the worst thing on the platform, and like they finally made it like somewhat decent with the pools. But it's like, are we back there where it's like the jump is just too big from rare to super rare that people just don't do it?
I think there's Brian White assist. I think
I didn't even know he played for Vancouver. Just bizarre.
Do you think there's a reasonable strategy to buy as many of the better Premier League, La Liga, and Bundesliga super rares as you can, so that other people, like, what if you bought like
It would be
4
pretty fun. I mean, like,
Kane super rares?
And
obviously
you,
we're not doing that, but like, yeah.
But
if you're Nanzo, you set the price now, right?
Yeah, the funny part or the scary part is like it might not really even be that much money. Like,
but you don't even need to. I don't even need to like set price, but like you could play theoretically. Like, let's say they sell 6 of them, right? You could play 3 of them in the Bundesliga tournament and 3 of them in the Champion Europe, and no one else is playing. Like, can play that play. Like, no one.
yeah,
Like, that's a
Kinda
huge advantage.
kind of like unique. Yeah,
Right.
it would be, and it would be really fun too of like watching Harry Kane knowing that nobody else fucking had him.
Yeah, and you have 6 of them, or I mean, that's an extreme, but
Imagine like Mark doing that with like Trent Alexander-Arnold. Everyone already hates YNWA, but then if he were to just be like, "Fuck everyone, I'm gonna buy all the new season Trent
All
super
of them.
rares." Yeah, fuck you guys.
not even just Trent, just like all of the Liverpool ones.
right.
If because he could just be like, well, maybe he has the money for the uniques also. But yeah, if you just like, I'm getting all of the super rares for Liverpool.
Especially if there's like, you extrapolate that to the top 5 guys, right? Like a clear top 5 guys in Premier League, right? There probably isn't, but a goalie and then the top 4 outfielders, and you buy all 6 of them in super rare, right? You spend $100,000. How much of the $300,000 in the month are you going to clean up, right? It's not going to cost you probably $100,000 to buy all of them. And in today's market, maybe that changes.
And then if you want to de-risk a little bit towards the end of the month, maybe you just sell a couple of them.
But I think that those are all things that, like, if So Rare really hits mainstream, aren't a problem because you have enough people that are actually going to compete, and that's where you see prices go up. But compete with the auctions or whatever, however they sell them.
I don't know. At a certain point, do people just keep battling with Mark on those? Like, is that healthy? I don't know.
It would be really sad. I mean, it's kind of like the levels of like if Pavel Trader decided to sell up tomorrow and how bad it would be for the platform. It's like if one whale decided to come in and buy fucking everything and just ruin this whole in-season bullshit and just win it all. Like, could be pretty bad.
I'm taking all of the cash they're giving away. I'm just gonna fucking take it.
Yeah.
Well,
But
I mean, they can't take all of it. It's only 3 entries that they can play.
True.
I'm gonna take most of it, Laird. I'm gonna take most of it. All right.
But there will also be plenty of people that will say, "Fuck that guy! I can beat him with this that costs less." Like that's the whole.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what Pranksy did, right?
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was kind of like the "fu." I'm gonna take everything, and he did.
Didn't he say he won like 30 grand in the Premier League comps?
Yeah. What did he spend?
30 grand out of 500. 30 grand out of 500K.
I think so.
Well, so I mean that's perfect. Like that's exactly what you want. Like that is not the majority of it, but he feels like he really came out. And the people who spend that much money should. That's exactly what should happen.
Franksy's won $73,000 on the platform in 1 year.
How much was it?
73,000 is his total gaming yield, which I assume includes the Premier League money, but if it doesn't, Now he's over 100,000 in
Wow.
like Ethan cash rewards.
Seems good.
I think he bought all the Benfica super rares, the one-ofs.
That seems off-brand for him. He's like a EPL guy. Is the way when I like see Pranks' gallery, that's what I think of.
Yeah, he's got 14 Benfica super rares, all 1 of 10.
Damn. I guess he's gonna get a Benfica shirt.
Mm.
For his $300,000 shirt.
Yeah.
He
Congratulations.
does not have Trubin yet.
Hell yeah.
Hmm.
Has anybody talked to Bob? How's old Bob doing? How's my Maxi me doing?
He's a bit pissed.
Is he still gonna play?
Yes.
Okay. Love him.
When you say he's
love my
pissed,
dad.
Bob's the type to be like, "Fuck, this sucks," but now how do I fix this and win?
That is exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
He just doesn't know what the solution is yet.
Wait until
Gotcha.
he gets the next announcement that fucks his strategy that that he.
Well,
pivoted
the
to.
hardest thing is when you have second division uniques. They're pretty illiquid. What are you going to do with them? Maybe part of it is double down and try to really compete in contender.
I mean, he
Yeah.
still has 6 months of threshold. It's a worse
Like
threshold.
nerfed. Yeah, nerfed
Yeah.
threshold. But
Yes, but I mean, everybody. It's always tough to take a step back, but the threshold was always the ROI was crazy.
Mhm.
And it's like it still is probably pretty good. Like, so
His-
like
So one of his problems is that he had championship players and they're in challengers. So it's like his like stacks are split now.
so the
Mm.
one thing that I'll say to people regarding that,
say it.
the best out will
Say it,
probably
Daddy.
be
Come on, give it to us, Daddy.
the best out will probably be trading and finding someone else that got similarly fucked in the opposite
Yeah.
way and scissoring together with them and perfectly finding a solution there. Like a good example is like my MX guys and my MLS guys split now.
Yeah.
I've got a Robin Jansen unique. What the fuck am I going to do with a Robin Jansen unique? What the fuck am I going to do with that? Well, I'm going to have to find somebody that has MX and MLS uniques and see if they want to make a little deal.
Can you please before you do that, play that card in a limited competition?
Yeah.
Like I'm just dying to see somebody just slap their unique dick onto a limited lineup.
Well, I've got a Gaese super rare, so I could play him there too.
They'd be like, "Oh, it was so brown. I thought it was yellow." Oh God.
I'm actually, I have a whole. I've got a whole Orlando super rare stack that I can play there.
Yeah,
I've got
Just play it in limited.
Facundo. Yeah.
Play in limited Division 5 and slap that lineup in and see what happens.
Okay. Sounds fun.
One thing that I think I said earlier, but I want to say again is like Sean said it a lot in terms of, and a lot of people think how much worse Contender Off is than Challenger, and I just really don't see it. I mean, play the competitions you want to play, and the cards will be there, and the money in the in-season tournaments is not that different. At least from the screenshots that they posted, there's $20,000 difference, which is 10%. 10% difference between Challenger and Contender in terms of the in-season tournament payouts. In terms of the cards, play what you want to play. If you like Japanese, if you like the Korean League, all of these contender teams, they're not that bad. You're still going to win the in-season cards that are still going to be able to be just as good as money to sell to the people that are playing in-season tournaments to win 10% less prize pool. There's a big difference between Champ Europe and Challenger. There's not that big of a difference between Contender and Challenger.
Yeah.
And everyone is acting like it's the fucking end of the world, that this isn't part of that. The biggest problem is the split. That's the biggest
Right.
problem.
That's what I was
But
gonna say.
that can be
There's so many
solved
more
with trades.
teams.
It's not the, other than the fact that like now it's hilarious that Scottish Premier League's in the contender and MLS is in the challenger, but just from the
Why is
drama.
that?
But
Why is that funny?
it's
You're not
hilarious.
gonna comment on that, Laird. Any opinions?
I'm curious why it's funny at all. Who
But
brought up MLS?
I'm just saying that they're pretty similar, or they should be pretty similar in terms of like desire to play. So like I don't see the cards being that significantly less or that significantly taking that much of a hit, unless they change the gap in the in-season tournament payouts. That's just my opinion. So if you like Liga MX, if you like Argentina, and you have MLS cards and Liga MX in Argentina, don't act like you need a huge amount in the gap between trading between the two, contender and challenger.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, I
trade,
mean, I'm
just trade
still
for the
playing.
contender cards.
I'm still playing Liga MX guys. Like nothing has changed there for me. Still going to continue to do that. The only difference there is like you said, like I had cards that I had paired up with them that I used in competitions in the summer and can't do that now. But now I've got to find a way to like a trade I might have to make is talk to Sean about his who's the Cavallini.
Lucas
like-
Cavallini.
Yeah, I can trade my Alan Polito straight up for Lucas Cavallini now, and I'll get an MX and he'll get another MLS. God damn, I don't want to own Lucas Cavallini. But like, there's disgusting things like that that may need to happen.
But your XP.
Yeah. XP
Oh,
doesn't really matter in those cards.
one final question.
One final question.
I've said it a
Alright.
couple times. Well, maybe not a final question. Depends on you guys. But
I don't know. We've almost gone 2 hours. I'm down with one more question.
it's not necessarily. Well, I guess it's a question. If you guys see any reason for them to keep the card scarcity bonus.
Oh. Huh.
The only thing
Only
I can
if-
think about is special weeklies where they want to make it where they want to keep that. But
Haven't they already kind of removed it in a lot of places on the platform? Like if you just go to your gallery and look at your cards, you don't really see that anymore.
it does
right?
it does solve that whole awkward limited to rare both being 10%. Like that was one of the biggest kind of weird things. Like, but if they got rid of the card scarcity, somebody said that somewhere that they were removing, I think Trippin maybe said it. Oh, they did say it was no longer a thing. Peyton's saying that in the chat. The reason why I think there's still a thing is because in the description of being able to play cards down, they specifically said you can play a super rare into a rare division, but this card scarcity bonus won't come into play in that instance. So that implies that they still have card scarcity bonus, which is just artificial if all of the competitions are strictly single scarcity.
Yeah.
And then we can be like, look, so rare's getting easier, not harder. Like this is how many points it takes to win champ rare.
What about rivals? We need the scarcity bonuses in rivals, man.
Oh, rivals
Oh,
with
yeah.
the update today. How about
Right.
that?
With the completely different scarcity bonuses, no less.
Yeah. Yeah, so weird.
Rivals with the streaks, the streak update. You see
Yeah, that's
that
a
today?
good little update. Sure.
I was trying to start one today, and my Tigres stack is losing to a Vancouver stack. So
Are you the slightest more interested in playing rivals with your tickets, Laird?
because of the change to 3,
Yeah,
yes.
slightly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have another question for you, Laird.
Ah,
So, I totally sympathize with your reasoning of why you're not interested in rivals. I think it makes total sense. I think it's totally fine, and I think there's a target audience for rivals, and maybe it's not you. But if they went to rolling locks in pro, is that not? Are you leaving So Rare Pro?
I would absolutely fucking hate that.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat too. Because what I found with Rivals was a good experiment for rolling locks for me and how much I would be able to pay attention. And it's just like there's been plenty of games I really want to play and I just miss it, and that will just piss me off in pro. And one of
So
the
what
best things about pro is what you've said, which is set it and forget it. And
the reason, so like I like Rivals when I want to play it. And the nice thing about Rivals is that there's basically like always a match on. So it's like it's almost impossible to be at a point where I'm like, hey, I want to play Rivals soon, and there's not a match. But so I'm choosing to play when I want, and putting rolling locks into whatever pro competitions. It's like now I have to do it, and that fuck off.
that's also what makes Sorare Pro so amazing. It's like just like if you're working 9 to 5 or whatever, just busy all the time. There's every single day. There's always games on throughout the day. It's incentive to grow a gallery because you always have something to check on, to like pop away. And that's why I love Sorare. Is just I don't get to watch as many games, and like so I'm similar to you. I don't watch a ton of soccer or football, but when I do want to watch it, I can. And it takes away those like small moments throughout the day. Just get that little hit of just like, oh, Cade Cowell just scored 100.
I'm gonna one more thing. You're one more thing. So I think the new gameplay is actually even better for converting people from Rivals, because now if you're a Premier League homer and you're like, yeah, I'm going to play a few Premier League games, and you're like, oh yeah, I'll buy some Premier League cards. Like, sure, why not? At some point you're going to have 5, and they're like, hey, you could submit that lineup and win $50. And you're like, fuck yeah, let's do it. And you're in at that point.
Yeah. It's definitely more straightforward in terms of limited like scarcities in the competitions, and then where you can play them.
And being able to use the cards you bought and play for cash instead of cards, I think is a huge plus. And by the time that they become old season cards, like, about Sorare. So you're like, oh yeah, I'll just compete in Classic now so I can win new cards, like whatever.
Yeah. You start asking the question, you're like, how long can I play these? And then somebody's like,
right,
forever, but Classic in season, whatever. And I think that's one of the magic things of simplicity but complexity, is you only have to know so much along the way, and you kind of learn as you go, versus needing to know a shit ton up front to even be able to consume it. And that's maybe where they were. And moving forward, it's like, oh, there's multi-entry. It's like, I don't care. And hopefully they hide that. It's like, just enter one. And why am I getting beat by black 3 times? I don't know. I'm pissed. But
you're almost not, because early on, exactly. Well, right. Like Black's in a different division. You're in Division 5, and you're like, oh, these people suck. This is great.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'll be in Division 5 in a lot of competitions. Just slinging my mud, baby.
I hope that that's transparent, and that's like the new like Twitter bashing is like, hey, you're in fucking Division 5, buddy.
he's a D5 boy.
Yeah, D5. How's D5?
You just keep competing down there, buddy.
Yeah.
Love it.
Let me know when you get some to D4. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me know when you get some rare cards.
Yeah.
I'm done.
All right, guys. 2 hours. Anybody else have anything important that they need to say before we cut this off? No. Laird?
Oh,
I'll see you tomorrow, buddy. Oh,
no,
one more
kidding.
thing.
Just kidding. LOL.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Holy shit!
Oh my god! Oh, it's all in my pants.
What?
Hey, you have to do it one more time, and that'll be the
whatever
send off.
What did I
I think
do?
it was 2 thumbs up, wasn't it? Or 2
I thought
fingers?
you did like so. Let's see. God,
Can we rewind?
Peasant.
Yeah, I was just about to say, hold on, let me pull up the stream and see if I don't think I can rewind it. Finger guns? I don't think that was it.
2 thumbs up fireworks. It should be 2 thumbs up.
Oh, there we
is.
go. What a stream, guys. What a stream. Have a good night. See you tomorrow, Laird.
You betcha.
Peace.
No one know, dat sprak voor een reet. Dit wou duren.